Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. In this video, we're going to make some of the inside pages for our ephemera ephemera storage album. Ephemera, oh, I don't know, we'll find the perfect name for it. I've been asking you guys to help me figure out what to call it, but I haven't yet posted any videos, so I don't know your opinions just yet. If you want to start at the beginning of this album and make this with me step by step, I will link a playlist up here and down below in the description box of this specific album. It starts with the introduction to the foundations, the introduction to the add-on scrap journal, then it could be a flip through of the prototypes for the scrap journal, and then the covers, so on and so forth. So just like with the pages that we made the inside journal covers, we're going to be using the same pages, but we're just not going to be adding anything onto the width of them. So I'm going to show you some different ways to make the pages. There is also a Amazon list specifically for this project listed down below if you'd like to check it out, and there'll be timestamps below as well. So if you wanted to skip making the pages, because we basically just did that in the last two videos, sort of, and you just want to get on to the matting of some of them, you can skip over to that if you'd like. Okay, so depending on how many pages you want to have in your ephemera holders. So here's one of the prototypes. This is the big size that we're making. This is the A size. It depends on how many pages you need. Now, I want you to keep in mind, these are removable, or you can add. So it's not a permanent page. Like, you're not sewing it in. So you can add as you go, if that makes any sense. So you can just make a couple for now, and then add more as you go on. So it's really up to you what you want, how many pages you want to make. But I'm going to show you how to make it using page 7A, printing page 7A from the Basically Amazing Foundations. I printed it off twice with the letters background, the templates that have the letters background on it, and then on the back side I just have some of the printable paper that comes with the add-on scrap journal. So I printed it off twice. On one of them, I cut 3 tabs off and left 1 long tab, and then on the other, I cut all of the tabs off. So we're going to make a page using those two. And then, oh, I've got this because this was just 11 by 17 piece of white cardstock. We actually did this when we did the covers, but I cut it back down to regular size. Where you take 11 by 17, just white piece of cardstock, fold it in half, and trace the page directly onto that and cut it out. So I've got that out for a reason, and I'll show you in a little bit. But I am going to pull the template out here for the main base page. I'm going to put the mat back so I don't need it. Because we're going to make some more pages with the 11 by 17. So again, it's completely up to you how many pages you want. And you can always add more. So let's talk about these two first. So if you're just using the printed template, what you're going to want to do is I have scored this one, and I've taped that tab, and I've also notched those corners, and I think we're just going to attach it like this. The one that has all the tabs off, we're just going to attach it to that tab there. So easy peasy. And move the tape backing, and I'm going to line it up, not going over that score. Walk it all the way down. And I may have gotten crooked, but that will be okay. So, you do that. I did get off a little bit, but again, no big deal. Then I'm going to just notch right there at the spine of this little booklet here, the where the score is, with a regular office hole punch, nothing fancy. And now we've got a page ready to go inside of our journal covers on the inside journal cover. Yeah. I am going to ink this up, but not right now. But I just want to show you how simple that is to make the pages that go inside of your ephemera holder. So we've got these two raring to go. And then what I've done is with the add-on scrap journal, I know I keep saying this, but you do get 2 sets of printable papers. One of them is an 8.5 by 11 file, which is what I used on the back side of here, right? And then the other one is 11 by 17 file. So if you have a wide format printer and you can print 11 by 17, that's what I've been doing. If not, and you still want to use the 11 by 17, you can totally do that too. And then you can mat it with, I'll explain that in a little bit. But I like having the solid sheet. This is still good. This is still great. I like this as well. So you can always just do it this way. No big deal. But what I've done is I've printed, there are 5 of them. One of them is the labels paper, and it's a little too busy for ephemera, I think. The reason I made these papers is because they're mostly neutral, vintage looking backgrounds, and your embellishments and things won't get lost in the paper. So this is the perfect choice for an ephemera holder. So what I did is I printed each one of the papers front and back, the same paper. I didn't try to mix it up or anything. I just printed the same paper on front and back, and I did that with every paper. So there's the front, there's the back. So it's the same on the front and same on the back, right? So I've got one of each except for the label piece. So let's see. What I wanted to show you is, let me just pick one. Oh, let's do this one. I will eventually do all of these because I've already done a full set of these, and I'll eventually do all of these, I think, for the rest of the album. Or I mean the rest of the ephemera holder thingy. So yeah, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark. I'll line this up. Actually, I have it on top. I'm going to line this up, and mine does not print borderless. I have my printer. It should be linked in the Amazon list below, and if it's not, then I couldn't find it, or it wasn't available anymore. So I'm going to lightly mark the width of the page, and then I'm going to remove that. I'm going to get my scoreboard out, and I'm going to try to score on that line that I just lightly marked, and that's where we're going to faux the page. Right, and so we're going to fold this page, and this way we can cut both sides out at the same time. So I'm going to line up that edge there. Right, so we got that. I'm going to trim off this top piece. Right, and then I'm going to trim off the bottom right at that pencil line. Just like that. So I'm going to open it back up, and notch these the areas there so it'll sit perfectly fine in underneath the elastic. So let me show you. So here's the page we just made. There's the elastic and the ephemera holder, right? So it sits perfectly fine in that, underneath that elastic, okay? So if you look, you'll see that the page itself is shorter than the covers. Remember, we did that on purpose. The page is the normal size page, and the covers we made just a little bit wider. Okay, so all I have to do is ink that up. And And then that's all you have to do for creating the page. So, let me put that aside. I wanted to show you, I've already done 5 of them. Let me move these out of the way. 1 for each printable page, except I forgot to do this part. So I'm just going to take a minute to do that. You could just do it like this too, just snip the corner out. Really isn't a right or wrong. You just want to give a place for that cording to be able to sit and hold your page. And it keeps it from tearing as well. Okay. So I've got 5 pages ready to go. Same thing, I printed these front and back the exact same way, and I had just done it off the camera. So now the next step is adding the pieces that go on top. Alright, so in the Basically Amazing Scrap Journal add-on, there are pages that are meant to be printed out, and cut the slots out of those pages, and that'll give you a pocket. Now you don't have to use it as an ephemera holder. You can use it in your albums, your scrapbook albums, your junk journals, all that stuff. You don't have to use it just as an ephemera holder, but that's what we're going to be using it for today. So what I've done is there's 4 different, in each size of albums, there's A, B, C, D. A is the album size we're working on now. It's also the largest. And D is the smallest size album. Let's see. So D, this is the main base page for D. So every size has the same configuration of these slots. Okay, so there is one that's got 2 slots, and it's a little bit deeper pocket here, a little bit smaller pocket up here, and then there's one that has 4 slots for, you know, smaller things like labels and whatnot. Then there's one that has 2 slots. These are equally spaced, so the pockets aren't as deep as at the bottom. And then there's one that has a long slot here that you could either use as a short pocket or a long pocket. So every size has those configurations. So you just need to figure out which configurations you need. And you can do that as you go. You don't have to do a bunch at one time. So I have printed off, I've already cut a bunch, but I wanted to print off several so I can show you how they work. But I wanted to show you, if you have the 11 by 17 cardstock and you made your pages, just plain white pages, you can print out these on vellum. You can print them out with the background of your choice, that whatever you chose that you purchased this in, you can print that one out, and when you put it on your white paper, it's not as plain, right? So you can totally do that. So all of these pages that have the slots on them, they're mats. They are mats for the main base pages that are in the foundations. Okay, so you can totally do it this way, or you can have the printed paper on your page and then print off just the plain mat for the pockets. Okay, so this is vellum, but I wanted to show you that because it's still pretty. It still looks super nice, and it allows you to have one solid sheet instead of having to piece 2 pieces together. So if you can't print on a larger piece of paper, I think you can you can get things printed at print shops and stuff on larger paper if you so choose. That's also an option, but be sure that they are not taking advantage, that they are not ripping you off, because they can totally get a little crazy when it comes to the pricing of printing on large paper. So try to find a mom and pop type shop. Now what I was going to show you, the vellum. This is vellum. I will link this in my Amazon list. But you just want kind of vellum that you can print on. I'm actually not sure if this is a specific brand. I'll have to look. I know I bought it on Amazon, but I'll have to look and see what it is. But there's lots and lots of vellum out there. I'm sure there's even different thicknesses and stuff. But you don't even have to use vellum. You could just use strips of paper if you wanted to. You can print this off onto cardstock and make your slots that way and have the things sticking out so that you can see what they are. They're totally up to you. You can do it however you wish. You don't even have to print these out at all. You can use scraps. Like these are leftover pieces from all the other ones that I've cut. You can just use scraps and attach those down, and they can just be little tucks for little small things to be tucked into. So I'll show you that as well, because you know you can do that. I've kept some of my scraps from my vellum to do that for smaller things like little stamps. You know, like I've been gathering used postage stamps because they're super pretty, and that would be a great, I think that's actually how stamp albums, like if you were collecting stamp albums, that's exactly the type of storage they have, like little strips that you just tuck them in there. Keeps them safe where you can see them. All right, I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer. So, oh, I also wanted to mention, if you are sewing, well, let me trim these two out really quick. So this is a Fiskars Precision heavy duty paper trimmer. And I'm going to just trim the whole thing out all the way around. And I will be right back. I just picked, by the way, one of the pages, because I've printed off a bunch of the other ones and prepped them already. So I didn't want to, and it doesn't, I just wanted to demonstrate, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, here they are cut out, and here's all the leftover pieces. So I'm going to keep the bigger pieces so that they can maybe be used on their own in the ephemera folder, the ephemera album, the I don't know, I'm not sure what we're calling it yet. But I wanted to tell you, if you're going to be sewing on these, if you're going to be sewing the pages and you just have one thickness of page, you need to have two of the exact same page back to back like this, and then you can sew them down. And you won't have to worry about making sure that you have everything in the right place. So when you sew, just make sure you give yourself a lot of room so that you won't miss what's on the back side. But if you're going to sew pages on, which I have done that, and I like the way it looks, and it's super sturdy. You just need to make sure you have the same page front and back of that page. If you're taking two sheets of cardstock and putting them together to make it more solid, then you can sew one on one of the sheets of cardstock, and then the next sheet of cardstock you can sew on the other side and then glue them together. So you can totally do that as well. All right, let me show you the next step here. And right, I have, this is a, ooh, I need to oil it or something. A We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile, and I'm using the small hoe here on the one side, and I'm just going to, oh yeah, I definitely need to oil it. I'm just going to punch a hole on each end. And you can do more than one at a time. You don't have to just do one at a time. And you don't have to be perfect with it. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a cutting surface. This is a score pile cutting mat. I'm going to take one of the sheets here, and I'm going to grab my ruler and a craft knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler right along that edge from punch toe to punch hole. And I'm going to start and slice. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. Like I got crooked right there. So then I'm going to skip over to this side. This is the easiest way I found to do it. Skip over to this side, and I'm going to slice from punch toe to punch toe. And I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing over here and remove that inner piece that has been inked. So I've just removed this itty bitty bit of a piece. So now we have 2 slots, okay? So just as simple as that. And let's do it again. And it cuts really easily. Oh, I thought my candle went out again. I've been trying to film. I watch my granddaughter Mondays and Tuesdays. And it's an all-day thing, you know. And I can't film on Mondays and Tuesdays. I can do some prep, but not much. Because I'm exhausted. She wears me out. She's something. So I'm trying to film several videos a day, and I can't remember what I say a lot of the times. Okay, so I wanted to show you all the ones I've already put together. So I have a whole pile here, and like you can see here, now, vellum, it can be fragile. You can still tear it. So you have to be really careful of how overstuffed you put it. Like the more stuff you put in it, the more it could possibly tear. Also, if you're trying to dig in there and get something that's kind of slid down, you could possibly tear these edges. But I've printed off and cut out a whole bunch. That way I can go through and add what I want to add. Okay, there's a bunch of those that are like that with all of the 4 slots. Here's some of the, is this the same one? I cannot remember. Yeah, these are the same ones. So I'm going to add these 2, oops. I'm going to add these 2 in with this. So then I've got several of those. Then I've got some of the slits that, these would be good for larger items, or even like some note paper or vintage paper that you have, some leftover pieces, or big envelopes or big file folders or whatever. Pre-made ephemera things that you make, that's what these big slots are going to be good for this ephemera holder. and then here's the one that's got the deeper pocket down here, but a shallower pocket up there. So I've got a bunch of these prepped, ready to go. So my thoughts are, let's see, whoa. My thoughts are, we could add one in here, and we could start by doing it this way, maybe. So, one of the things, I'm going to grab this. I don't want to show you something just yet. So, let's see. I'm going to grab, I'm just going to get one of these hole reinforcements. I've got a bunch. You know, I like to color them. I like to foil them. I like to do different stuff with them. So, I want to make, well, since these are, let's see, what would be the best way to do this? Since there's a lot more room in these pages, I want to make, see, I want it to be able to, I want to be able to cover most of them because they don't always stay stuck to their backing. So I don't want the 4 slots. I think I want the slots that are even top and bottom. So if I put this on here, well, even enough. Put that on there. I can have some up here. I can have some here. And I can have some here. Right? I like that. I like that. Okay, so you've got lots of options, in my opinion, for adhesive. I did a little test of, I think you should use liquid glue, but if all you have is tape, you can use that. It's just be careful because your ephemera might get stuck on the tape in the pockets. So I did a little test because I can't remember what I used when I made my prototypes. Isn't that something? It's been a while. It's been a while. So here I used art glitter glue, and I'm not even sure you're even going to be able to see it at all. So here I used art glitter glue, and you can definitely see a distinct line for the art glitter glue. Here I used Fabri-Tac, and you can see it, but it's not as distinct as the art glitter glue is, and I don't know if that's just because of the paper I've got underneath or what. But we're going to start with the Fabri-Tac. We're going to use the Fabri-Tac. But if you have art glitter glue, use that. If you're going to sew, just barely put any on the corners and you can sew it on and don't have to worry about glue. So I'm going to get the Fabri-Tac. So this is Fabri-Tac by Beacon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, I'm going to leave the top free of glue. We're going to go all the way around the edges, and then I'm going to run a bead of glue along here and along here. That will create the 3 pockets. Okay, so I'm just going to go run the bead. I did snip my nozzle to be wider so I wouldn't struggle with it so much. Right, all along that edge, all along this edge. Whoops. Like that. And then down this edge. And then, we're not going to go on the bottom of this, we're going to go on the top, right here. And then we're going to go up to the next one and go over the top of that. Okay. So then we're going to carefully add the page on here. Or the mat, I'm sorry. Carefully add the mat. Okay, and I'm also going to take a burnishing tool. This is a, well, this is a bone folder type burnishing tool. It's just a different shape. The glue is seeping out, but that's okay. Burnish it, burnish it, burnish it. And your pockets, okay, so this I had some glue seeping out. We just don't want to seal this part, right? Just this part we need to attach down. And the same with this one, we just want to seal this part and not the bottom part. Okay. If you wanted to, like on the top part here, if you wanted to cut like a notch there in order to be able to reach things, let's do that. Actually, even though it's a little late, let's see if we can do it. Is this a 2-inch? It's a 2-inch. Let's try the bigger one. See if this is a 2.5-inch. Do you think I'll be able to get it under there? I don't know if I'll be able to. Right? You can totally. It's not going to be center. But if you need to have a, you should do that before you glue it down. Just so you know, that was probably not the best idea to do it after the fact. But I'm going to trim this up. And even a little more. Yeah, so if you need to have like an area for your finger to get in there, right? You can punch yourself a little half circle, and you want to do that beforehand. So I think the top one's the hardest, although all of them probably could have used a punch. So I wonder, should we just do that and see what happens? Well, I mean, what's the worst case scenario, right? Let me grab another one, and we'll do that. So, I'm going to take this is 2.5-inch, and maybe not that deep. I wish I would cut a little easier, but it's not. Right, so we can do that. Then we can move down to this one. Oh, you can tell it does not like the vellum. Probably just need to sharpen it or something. Okay, and one more. Oh, look at there. That one was like, boom! So you could then ink it up if you want to ink it up, and then it's easier to grab. Let's do that. That's a good idea. I'm wondering if I can do the other page. Well, let's get this on here and see what it looks like first. All right, same thing with the glue. I may have got a little heavy-handed with my glue, but I do that. I do that a lot. Okay, so that will actually make it much nicer to grab these out of the pocket, and you won't have to tear. You won't have to tear anything to do it. Okay, so let's see if I can get, let's do this, see if I can get the half circles. On this page, since it's already glued down, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to without doing a lot of ripping. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's not going to be too bad. Woo! One more. I like this idea. I didn't do it in my prototype. It's a good idea. I'm just guesstimating, as you can tell. I haven't marked anything. And look at how much nicer it went through that vellum that time. All right. So I'm going to add another page to this before I move on, because I know for a fact that I have a lot of different color. I like to separate them out by color and whether or not they have foil on them or not. I think that's how I'm wanting to do it. So in my prototype, which I'm trying not to show you because there's something, I did something in there. Let's see. I've got just one page for them, front and back. So I think I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do another page, front and back. I'm just gonna pick, let's just pick this one. Okay, but I'm not going to, let me see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a Post-it note and I'm going to write postcard. I'm going to try to find it. Postcard, not postcard, I'm going to write co-reinforcement front and back. So that I know what my plans are there. Now, so that'll be 12 slots for hole reinforcements. So I like that. I like that. And then I've made myself a list of things that I think would be good inside this ephemera holder. I've got my favorite stencils, labels, vintage, real vintage ephemera, tags, hole reinforcements, postcards, store-bought ephemera, pre-cut die cuts, like stamps, like postage stamps, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure there's a ton of more ideas. That's just what I kind of threw together really quick. Whoa, watch out. I need to move these before they fall into the flame. All right. So then let's see, so I've got those two. So that's 2 pages. If we did 3 pages per for right now. Or something like that. So, and this next page, we can do labels, because I've been using a lot of labels. I'm really liking the labels. So on the front side here, we can do labels. So I think I'll do one for each type of label, and I'm going to use this one. So the labels are going to be, there's the rectangle, the square, and the circle. So there's one there. The rectangle, the square, and then the circle. So I'm going to need rectangle, the square, the circle. Okay, so I'm going to add another one, so maybe we'll do 4 or 5 per. Because I want to show you the new idea I had. Okay, so I've got the rectangle, the square, the circle. Because they're smaller, they need a little smaller pockets. We're not going to attach those down just yet. But my new idea is, maybe we'll just add, okay, here's what we're going to do, you guys. I'm going to add this white sheet of cardstock. I'll eventually ink these edges, but for right now, I wanted to show you my idea. Okay, so I have been adding these pieces. These are leftover pieces. I'll show you. These are leftover pieces from the full sheets of the 8.5 by 11 sticky paper. Matter of fact, I might need these. I don't know if these will stick down though. Let's see. I'm gonna grab those. They might stick down. I don't know. I do not know. But I'm gonna grab these sheets too. Matter of fact, I'm going to test right now. Well, I guess I could just use the backing of one of these strips. I'm going to see if this will glue down to a piece of paper. Let's use my art glitter glue. My glue test from earlier, and let's use some Fabri-Tac. I might have to, no, let's just use some Fabri-Tac. I wonder if this will work or not. So you're probably wondering what I'm doing and why I'm doing that. Because the idea that I have, because I don't, if you don't have to throw those away and can use them for something, so I have to let that dry, is to actually mat the actual page with some of this, the sticker paper, some of this, not sticker paper, some of the backing of the full sheet of adhesive. When we print our label stickers off onto sticker paper, we can cut them out and just add them right to this page. It's a little bit neater than having them in here like this, right? And it's a little bit prettier in my mind. And if you don't care, then you don't have to worry about it. I may take some of the, oh, I stapled these two together. So I might take some of those out if I need to and mat the pages with them, because I think that's a fantastic way to have your labels ready to go. So if we did 4 sheet size, so this whole thing, if we cover this whole thing in release type paper, then we can put stickers all over it. our label stickers all over it. So that's my thinking. So we're gonna have to see if this will hold once it dries, if it'll keep it on there. I mean, it's not dry, so it's not like I can test it right now. So we'll have to wait and see if that'll work. But for now, I'm gonna move these out of the way until I know. I have tried to see if it'll work with like, whoa, glassine paper and wax paper, and it does, but it sticks a little bit more than I would like. So I kind of feel like if it would eventually stay stuck, or it's harder to get off. So you can totally test these theories out if you would rather use this type of paper and you can't get your hands on the full sheet adhesive back stuff. I'm just trying to use what I have. So totally try that out. I cannot tell you if it'll last, I can't tell you if it'll stay stuck or not. The sticker, once you put it onto like the glassine or the wax paper. But anyway, it's just something to think about. So for now, I'm going to cut these down to mat size. Yes, right? Isn't that a great idea? And the back side is paper, so it will work. So let me go ahead and add these to that white page. I'm just going to use glue, but you could totally use tape, because this, again, this back side is paper. It's not coated with anything. So yeah, you're kind of wanting to look for something, and if you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. You're kind of wanting to look for something that's coated on one side with something that will allow you to place a sticker on there and hold it for storage, and then be able to remove it easily later. I bet acetate might work, or transparency film. We should try that out. Somebody needs to try all those ideas out. I guess we could do a little test here in just a second before I start placing all these down. I'll just put the one down. You kind of get the idea. Varnish that so that the glue stays stuck. Okay, let me move this for a second. Let's bring these two back out. Let's find some transparency. I have this acetate. Do I have a smaller piece? Probably not. So this is just acetate. And let's see if the sticker can be removed from it. I know that we've glued things down to acetate before, so I just don't know if the sticker will release from it. And if we can, that'd be cool too. Let me find one that not so nicely put down there. This is one of the circles. All right, so you put it on there, and then the idea is that it'll be easily removable. Sort of. So the acetate's kind of on the sort of. Oops. This is wax paper. Again, I've already tested this one out. See, the acetate made the sticker work. I mean, it'll come off, but again, it's a little bit more difficult. And then the glassine paper, right? It'll come off, but a little more difficult. So, let's see, what else can I test? All right, this is just a regular office page protector. I think it's the heavy duty ones though. Let's see if it'll come off of here. Since I've used this sticker so many times, I'm gonna really press it down. And then let's see if it'll peel off. It does peel off. So you can definitely, well, let's see what that looks like. You can use these, right? So let's check out, I'm gonna cut this one down to size. So we could definitely just use it. Let me see what that looks like. Let's what we got here? What was we doing? So 1, 2, 3, and then we have this page. Oh wait. Wait a minute. Front and back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 for the 3 different labels. And then this page, let's try it and see if it'll stick. While I was away waiting for my glue to dry, I made a full page of the sheet protector. I made it the same size as the full page, and they're basically amazing. And notched the corners just like we make our pages. You know, we just trimmed off we just left one side that was connected, that was closed, and trimmed the top and bottom off, and the other side that was closed. And it works. I was worried that it'd be too flimsy, but with the stickers on there, it works. But it's not as clean and neat as I would like for it to be. So this works. So if you wanted to use page protectors, this will work. But again, it's not as neat and clean as I would like for it to be, right? And it's a little bit more difficult to pull the sticker off of that as well. And it obviously can come off, it's just a little bit more difficult. So that being said, we need to decide if doing the sheet protector mats is going to be good, because it might pull it away from the cardstock that we glue it onto. So let me grab a sticker. Let me just grab one of these little ones. And I'm going to press really hard. We're going to really put it to the test. I'm pretty sure the glue is dry now. Oh, by the way, this one, it just isn't drying to it. So this is not going to stick. The backing, the paper backing to those large sheets, it's just not going to stick. The brown part works just fine, but this white part, no go. It's a no-go. But you could still fold them in half and have them inside your under your elastic and put stickers on them just like that though. Okay, so now let's test it. So it's good and stuck down to the paper. Well, it's a little bit more awkward because you're going to have to, like, you have to bend the page in order to get that off of there. Because you really got to have something to hold on to. And when you've got them on this type of paper, well, now it's not going to stick, but it comes on and off perfect. Now it's not going to stick. With little effort. So I kind of like them both. I like both ideas. This one will look prettier than this, but does it? I don't know. Well, that makes it more difficult. I guess we should give it a try. I guess we should try one page and let's just see what happens. Oops. Over the test of time, let's just see. So we'll add it to the back side of here, and I don't really like that. I don't like the how it doesn't look very neat and tidy, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. I'm going to go all around the edges. So I'm going to put this on here the best I can. And where's my burnishing tool? And I'm going to burnish. Try to keep the glue going towards the inside. Try not to squish it out. So this will be an experiment. Yes, it will. So by the time this goes public, I should know whether or not this works. And if it stays stuck, if it's easy or hard to get the stickers off of there. And I will make a note of that. Hopefully I will make a note of that in the description box below. Okay, so I got that page. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have to move those stickers. I'm gonna fill this front and back with these, right? So this is gonna go here. And I'll ink it off camera. But these are gonna go here, like that. Okay, so those are the labels. So now we've got, how many pages do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 pages now. I better keep this close by. So I think what I'm going to, excuse me, I think what I'm going to do is before I add anything else in here, I think I am going to fill these pages up with the things that I want to put in there that I've already, okay, this is going to be hole reinforcements front and back, and then these are going to be where the labels go that are just printed on regular paper. And then I've got several pages of that, and then I'm going to have the pages where the sticky labels, let me show you. Well, we'll do a whole video on the sticky labels, and then we'll go from there. So we will continue on with matting our pages and adding pages in the next video. So yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll get everything to a point, and then we'll start again and see where we can go from there. Because it's just really about what you need in your ephemera folders, right? What you need in your ephemera album holder folders. It's really all it's based on. So yeah. Well, that is all I have for you guys right now. So I guess I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And check out the description box for all important, useful info. And I will see you guys next time.